We follow on to algebraic expressions with algebraic equations. The difference between the two is that this one bears an equality sign. So you have two equations that are bound by the equality sign. So for example, I can have 2x plus 9 is equal to x plus 5. So that would be an equation, whereas expression would be something like this over x plus 9, or I could be multiplying these two. So I have 2x plus 9, and then I have x plus 5, like that. So these are expressions, and this one is an equation. So the laws of equations is that you always have to maintain the balance. And so the balance here is that we can multiply with the same factor on both sides, and then we can still maintain the balance as long as what we're multiplying with is not equal to 0. Also, we can add or subtract the same factor from both sides, and then we still get same equation. So I can also do this. It'll be the same. Okay. And so we have two main types of equations. You can have linear equations where you have a degree of 1, okay, and then non-linear, you have a degree that is more than 1. So for example, I can have a quadratic equation. Here I can have a linear equation like this: x plus 1 is equal to y, something like this. This will be a linear equation. But if I had something like maybe y, or let me just say 0 is equal to x squared plus 2 plus x, something like this will be non-linear. Now let's try to solve some equations. So the first equation we have is 4x minus 5 is equal to 3. Okay, so now the key about equations is to maintain the balance. So whatever you do, all you're trying to do is maintain the balance and then apply the proper laws of mathematics, like commutative, distributive, and things like that. The things that we've done already. So here, what are we trying to do? We're trying to make sure that like terms are going to be put together. Okay, so what do? I need to make sure that this and that, or I just need to make sure that I solve for x. That's the other easiest way to look at this. So whatever I do, I want to make sure that by the end of the day, I have x is equal to everything else this side. So it's almost like I need to remove whatever I have here and transfer to the other side. So what do? We start with the easiest things to do, which is move this one. So what do? We have to remove this. Okay, so if we have to remove 5 from here, we can remove it by giving it its equal and opposite number. But then the same thing I have to make sure that I do on the other side. Okay, so that's that. So these cancel out. Then I have 4x equal to 8. Okay, now to take care of this one, I can do it two ways. I can multiply by 1 over 4, and then I also need to do the same here. Or I can simply just divide by 4 here, and then I divide by 4 there. So whatever I've done on one side, I've done on the other as well. So 4 into 8, it's going to give us 2, like that. Okay, so this is our first example. Our second example would be, let's say I have 2x is equal to half x plus 7. What do? We need to make sure that at the end of the day, we have something like this. X is equal to everything else. So what do I do? I need to make sure that this x joins another term with an x here. So what do? I need to remove this from here. So I need to say 2x. For me to remove this from the other side, I need to subtract since it's positive. So I already know that I'm going to subtract it from this other side as well. So then I go the other side as well. I do the same thing, minus half x plus 7. Okay, so these take care of each other. And then I have this subtraction here. So what does it give me? If we look at we have a lowest common multiple there. Then we have this one is 1. So 1 into there, 2 by there, 4x minus this one maintains its numerator. So we're going to have something like that. Then it's going to be equal to 7. So now what do I have here? I've got 3x over 2 is equal to 7, like that. So I need to free my x by multiplying by what? By multiplying over with this 1, both the sides. So these cancel. I have my x, and then here I have 14 over 3, like that. Okay, let's go to the next page. We look at this equation from the next page. This one gives us 7x minus 4 is equal to 3x plus 8, like that. So again, we do the same thing. We're going to move this one to the other side, and this one comes this other side. But again, we just need to make sure that we balance the equations. So here it will be 7x. I know I'm going to have to subtract 3x from this side. So I already subtracted there. And I know that I'm going to have to add 4 to remove this. So I already added here. So when I go the other side, I'll do the same thing. 3x. I've removed 3x like I did here. Then I added a 4, meaning that 8, I'll add a 4 here. All right, so we have 4x. This is what this gives you. This cancels out, and then we have that also canceling out. Then we have 12 here. Now, what's the next thing that we can do here? It's 4x is equal to 12. What do? We multiply by a factor that will give us a 1 as a coefficient for x. And then we also do the same here. Now, there we get x. Then here we get 3. Okay. There are obviously shortcuts to this. Like, for example, if you are doing this, okay, this is what you're doing. So I already know that if this comes the other side, it will be a negative, and if this goes the other side, it becomes a positive. So once you get used, these become first nature. And then here you can just simply divide by 4. Then you have x is equal to 3. So it's once you get used to these, then you can know what happens to the signs.